and welcome to Turn Up the Heat, where we talk to our guests about how are they turning up the heat? How are they setting the bar a little higher, getting out of the comfort zone a little bit more, pushing their limits a little bit to get exponential results. And then we also talk to our guests and celebrate our guests and all their success, but we talk to them about their mental demons, if they have any, and how they deal with them. Are they taking out the sledgehammer? What are they doing? What are the tools in their toolbox? I want to know. So I have with me today, and gosh, I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to Kelly Sullivan. Anyone in the obstacle course racing world knows who Kelly Sullivan is. But here's the thing, like, Kelly has done everything. She does not just stick to, one distance or one type of racing. Kelly has done Spartan. She's actually a Spartan PRO Athlete, has podiumed in everything I'm about to mention. High Rocks US Championships, DECA, I've seen her out across the country at DECA events, Ninja OCR World Championships, World Champ on June 19th, 2021, right? Also, Go Ruck Fit Challenge. I'm so sad that Rob's going to be ending that. I think we have one more Go Fit Challenge with Rob. Yeah. We'll see if we can get there. Maybe we can convince him to keep it going. And then also Greek Peak. She won Greek Peak in 2020. I'm trying to see here. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Is there anything else big that you compete in that I forgot to mention?
It's a long list. I mean, if anyone knows, years ago, back when they did TMX, the championships for that, I competed in that. Biking Challenge, just to throw shout outs to other places.
Is TMX Tough Mudder?
Yes, they did a mile course for a year, and it was like you had to either qualify or get invited to go, and then they did a championships, and that was the only year they had it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you have literally done everything. And I have read about you that you don't just stick to like one distance. You do everything from DECA, which the longest distance in DECA is like 3 miles collectively, right? After you go through all your zones. That's kind of a sprint in itself, but then you're also doing Spartan Ultra Beasts. Is there anything longer distance that you're doing that
I did my first 12-hour actually over a pandemic. Shout out to Matt P. Davis and his, I forgot what he called it, Ultra Virus. It was a virtual race. I got 55 miles at that. That was one of my great accomplishments. This past weekend I did Ruck Fest, which wasn't necessarily a lot of miles. Well, it was a lot of miles, but it was a lot of time under tension with Rucks on. And I actually have an invite to a 40-hour thing that I'm contemplating for next year. So that will be my longest if I end up doing that.
40-hour. Have you done the death race?
No, the only time I was contemplating it was when they did it with partners, because Josh Fury is a good friend of mine. So I was trying to get him in, but he was actually helping out with it, so he couldn't compete.
Oh, no kidding. Do you see that being something you'll do in the future?
No, it's not something I want to do. But I am leaning more towards like the Ruck events and the longer Ruck events. I'm having a really fun time with that challenge right now. So
what do you love about the Ruck events? I don't know much about them.
I don't either.
Well,
I'm only just getting into them. I did Go Ruck Games. Oh geez, I should have shouted them out. Go Ruck Games this year. Oh, this year. Yeah,
you do it like right after you did the quarterfinals for CrossFit.
For CrossFit, yeah. So that was fun. And CrossFit, yeah. I just forgot about it.
So you literally did hold on. So this is a big deal. Like you were doing semifinals, because I actually interviewed a girl a couple of weeks ago. She's on one of my podcasts that was there and competed. And so you actually did that and then you were like preparing for the
open and quarterfinals and putting my Ruck on in between there. Yeah. And then Go Ruck Games, which is the end of April. Yes, because work started up. For me. Which I had the funnest time at. That was the first time I did anything with a Ruck. Like I literally applied for it because you either got invited or you had to apply, and then there's 3 qualifier workouts. I had like a Ruck, but it wasn't an actual Ruck, and I had some plates. So one of the qualifiers was a 5-mile Ruck, which I burned the living crap out of my back because I didn't have a proper Ruck for it, but I qualified. So that was my first Ruck. I bought a better Ruck from then and tried to train with it. And I had the most fun at that event. So once Ruckfest came up, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. And
wow. What's the next one?
I don't know yet.
Not sure. Okay. So you don't know when the next Go Ruck is, but do you know what's your next event? Is your next big event Killington Ultra Beast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my. Yep.
That's in like 2.5 weeks, girl.
I keep forgetting September's next week. Like I just saw
I
the
know.
calendar today and I was like, oh, this is why all teachers are going crazy. I work with teachers, so I'm like, that's why everyone's going crazy.
Yeah. Really quick. Let's take a time out. So talk about what you do because this is where I know the viewers, like this girl doesn't just like travel the country and travel the world racing. And that's all she does is train and get sponsored and all this stuff. She actually has a full-time job and her job entails a lot of travel. So like when people are making excuses, they don't have time to train, I'm just like, okay, well, it's nice to learn from someone like you that travels. So what do you have to do with your, like, how do you just stop at McDonald's like everywhere? Or like, how do you prepare? How do you pack? All that stuff.
Sometimes. No, it's frustrating and not at the same time. So I was a teacher. I was in the classroom for 7 years. An awesome opportunity came up 3 years ago where I now work for the math curriculum that I used to teach. So now I just say I teach teachers to make it easier to explain what I do. But yeah, no, I travel around the country now all the time.
Wow.
And I work
with teachers. Do you love it?
I absolutely love it. I've been doing it for 3 years. It's a great time. I meet so many new people. It's just like racing. Like I meet so many people that like have the same interests as me. And we just get to nerd out with math. Which
that's cool. So if you're like me, if that was me, I would be always looking up like, is there a race around here while I'm going to be out here and try to turn it into like a little bit of a race workation type of thing or find new gyms to check out.
So that's the kind of nice thing is if it works out, I can like go right from work. So the past couple of weeks I've been going right from my races on my work trips, which is good and bad. I mean, I'm really tired, but I haven't really stopped and I've only been home like August. I've only been home, I think 4 days.
Wow.
The whole month. But it's like you drop your stuff, repack another bag and you keep going. But just like you're saying with packing, it's really just being prepared as much as possible, which is what any of this is. Like I make sure to have my running sneakers, I have workout clothes, I pack my protein shakes and baggies, I keep another shaker cup with me. I'm like a little old lady. I have the little pill boxes for my vitamins every day. But it's just being as prepared as possible and also having the mindset of, hey, not every day is going to be great. Like I did Ruckfest this past weekend, went right on a work trip and didn't go crazy making sure to run and work out. Like my body needed to recover. I listen to my body for everything. So just knowing like, hey, sometimes you're going to be on a trip and you can work out every single day, twice a day. And sometimes you're just going to, sleep and eat a bag of Cheez-Its while you're in bed.
So you train, well, maybe not race, because once you plan for a race, you probably do go ahead and do it regardless. But it sounds like you're training and recovering very intuitively. I love that.
In a sense.
For the most part. Yeah.
Not really on paper. I've been an athlete my whole life. I've been running with my dad since I was in like middle school. So like he was the one who taught me really to like listen to my body as much as possible. And being an athlete growing up, I think that helps. So like I have like a Whoop and my watch for like my recovery and whatnot, but so much of what I do, and that's why I tell people not to ask me a lot, because I know what works for me because I've tested it. I know what works. Like I know what works. I know what doesn't. I know how much my body can handle no matter what. And I've taken the time to make sure of that, because I got a lot, not like pushback, but I got a lot of like questioning, especially after my surgery, because I came back to racing really soon. But it was like, I even said in my post, like, I don't condone this. Don't do this. Don't follow what I do. I was like, but I know myself so well that I know, yeah, I still look like I'm still racing. I still look like I'm racing, but like I'm holding back so much because I can't take myself out again. I know how much I want this. I know how much this is a big part of my life. So I'm being smart about it. It just doesn't always look like it on the outside.
Right. So no, I think that's cool. I had the Whoop for a while as well. That was really eye-opening. A lot of awareness of what you need to recover or what affects your recovery and stuff like that. And then, it doesn't mean that just because you're in the red that you're not going to go have a killer workout. If you're feeling like you have it in you, like I would still go do it, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Maybe not a run, but maybe I'm gonna walk a couple miles. Maybe I'm gonna go for a slower jog. Maybe I'm like not gonna wear a ruck today. Like
Yeah. So what was the surgery?
I tore my labrum and tried to pretend that it wasn't torn for a long time.
Oh,
So
geez.
oh my gosh, can we backtrack for a hot second? So in 2019, I had a foot injury the entire year. I was in an ankle brace the entire year because my doctor compromised with me. He was a runner. He understood. And he said, look, you're either going to take like 4 months off fully, 100%, take them off. Don't do a damn thing. And you'll be back 100%. He's like, or you're going to take the whole year to recover, but you're going to be in an ankle brace every single day. So I chose an ankle brace and we met every other week to make sure, like, see what races were coming up and really plan out accordingly. And this is what I mean. Like, he worked with me to really see like what's going to work, what's not going to work. I pulled back on races, but I got to race the entire year. But with that, I then at OCR-WC, I fell off of Valkyrie and landed on my shoulder. But I was like, I'm in a boot already, so we're going to push this one off. We're fine.
Oh my gosh.
With the pandemic, I was lifting more and working out more. So like I was feeling it more. And then I did a couple Savage races and I could not even hold myself on the rig. So I finally said, hey, it's a pandemic anyway. Like races are slowing down. Let's just go for it. So my Christmas present to myself was shoulder surgery.
Oh, wow. And how long was that recovery?
Fully, I would say, I think by like 4 months, I was starting to jog again. 6 months, I was slowly starting to lift again. And I did not feel normal until at least a year.
So a year, normal feeling, my body's healthy, I can do anything, I'm practically
Feeling
invincible.
like, yeah, where I don't have to like fully think every step that I'm doing with races. I was still racing. I mean, once again, I don't condone this. I had my surgery right before Christmas. I was running the national series, so I ran Jacksonville. I don't condone that.
Yeah.
But it was a sprint. I was cleared not to race, but I was cleared to start jogging and running at that point. So I was like, let me just go and just like put my name out there and be there. I got through everything. I only was my spear, oddly enough, which was like not the shoulder that had surgery. I'm like, I got through monkey bars and like I knew it was only the monkey bars and the rings that were going to be a problem. So I took them really easy, really slow. And then I took some more time off.
Yep.
But let's just say I got really good at burpees that year.
Oh yeah. Lovely burpees. So do you, what's your completion rate? If you even know exactly, like for Spirit, I've only gotten it like once or twice in a race.
Not
awful.
No, I want to say you need to practice.
I do need to practice. And I have a really nice
Spear that someone made me. Should just go practice. We just picked up a target. Thank you, Ed. Ed, you're amazing.
Oh yeah. That's what I need. Where did you get a target from?
So Ed Wheeler is amazing and he's super awesome and just wants to see people like do better. He really helps me out with like mental recovery during surgery and he just makes stuff and
cool.
He'll be at races with like extra spears and just give them out to people and like he's such a good-hearted, good-spirited person and just wants to see everyone like practice and do better and he's awesome.
And
race ready obstacles.
We're going to talk. Yeah, I need to practice the spear. I have a really nice spear that someone special made for me, but
I was gonna say, race ready obstacles makes them also, which is great. And they're just good for rigs and stuff if you need any upper body help also.
Yeah, awesome. So, all right, you mentioned that it also helps you with your mental recovery during recovery. So that's what I was going to ask you is like, I've also gone through like a phase of different injuries, month over month, year over year, which I had never really ever had injuries. So it was really weird for me, but I'm like, oh, now I understand how these people feel. Like, it's almost like there's a purpose for that to help you have more empathy for the people that have to go through that. And that's all fine and good. But like, because I know that's an area where you could get some mental demons, because it's almost like, okay, did you deal with all or nothing, where all of a sudden, the nutrition starts to go down the tube, or all training down the tube, or like, what did you do to stay fit and healthy, or did you not?
It's a mix no matter what. I mean, when I was in the boot, I couldn't run as much, so I tried to lift more. When I had a lot of bad days in the boot and I had a lot of bad days in a sling. Like literally my workout when I started was just taking my sling off and leaning forward and letting my arm drop.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's not a workout. And yeah, no, I mean, you break down, you get back up. It's
Yep.
fine. I did a lot of stuff on like my right side. And I was at the point, like at times when I'm like, I just need to do something. So my basement's a full gym. I would get the kettlebells out and just do stuff on my right side. And I'm like, I don't even care if I'm uneven. My arms are still uneven. Like there's literally a half-pound difference between my arms right now. And I'm like, totally fine. But that's what I did. When I needed to do something, I built up my right side. I went for walks every day. I made sure to do something every day. Walking really helped. Just to make me feel like I was doing something. But
so
yeah.
you did what you had to do to just stay physically active, and that helped you mentally. And then you obviously you're not at the level that you're used to, but you knew, you know what, this too shall pass sort of thing, right? Like I'm going to get out of this and I'll be back to.
Yeah. And just having people around you. I mean, like that year was the first year in 8 years that I didn't do the CrossFit Open also. And like CrossFit's a big part of my life also, but I still went to my gym, watched everyone else do it. I judged some people, like still getting myself involved in it. Even if I wasn't racing, I came to races and did maybe one day and hung out the next day. I had a good group of people that I could just like text and be like, yo, today's not a good day. And they would just talk to me. It's not even, it wasn't even had to be like, oh, is it your shoulder? It was just like, oh, so what's going on? Like, or send like a funny GIF or like just something, like any type of support. And I try to do the same for people now too. I've had a couple people come to me because I know I've had shoulder surgery. I'm like, yo, if you ever need anything, like you're going to have a day where you're just like sitting by yourself crying and you don't know what to do. Like, come talk to me. I don't care. Like everyone needs someone. And Ed was a really good person for me for that. Cause he went through the same thing and he's like, you're going to need someone. He goes, just talk to me. And there was at least, and I'm not that person. Like I hate asking for help or like talking to someone about stuff. So there, I could just talk to him and be like, I'm having a bad day. And it's just like, all right, cool. Like, doesn't have to think about it, but like, just knowing that someone else knows that is so helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that says so much, someone like you. And I feel like I'm the same. Totally don't like to ask for help, but people need people, you know, just to get through it.
This too, like I couldn't move my arm. So like I had a full and it's funny to say now because like no one really knows about this. I had a full breakdown just in my bathroom because I couldn't put my hair up. I hit my hair down. So like, and it was longer then. I couldn't put my hair up because I only had one arm that I could use. So I'm literally sitting like trying to like lift my arm onto the desk and like lean over to try to hold it. And I lost it. But like, it happens. You let yourself lose it. And then you're like, all right, so let's figure out what I could do. Get a clip. Do something else.
Right. Solution. Right. Solution based over here. Oh my gosh. We're talking about so many things and digressing. It's like tentacles going everywhere in my brain. So CrossFit, I started CrossFit 2.5 months ago and I had to humble myself so much because I just wanted to get more power and more strength. I'm an ectomorph. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of like done with trying to like just lift on my own. I do go to obstacle course training at Victor's Fitness Appeal. Love it.
Amazing.
You know, sports.
I wish I was closer. That's the only thing.
I know. We'd love to see you more often, but you know, that doesn't cover me. I mean, first of all, it's a little bit of a drive for me as well. So I only go there like once a week, maybe twice a week sometimes, but like, so I'm like, you know what? I need something that's going to really push me consistently. So I joined CrossFit and I'm loving it, but really humbling because, you know, you'll hurt yourself if you try to throw on all those weights. And you see these girls that have been here for 5-10 years. And it's like, I'm like, hi, I have my little weights. And they're like, they've got these big, gigantic weights. And it's like, someday.
It's fine. CrossFit and OCR is literally, sorry, my other screen I keep looking at. I gotta like stay. Those have been the only thing that I've stayed with for so long because they're different on like in the races and in the workouts, they're different enough where it keeps me like interested. Where same as you, like I have a gym in my basement. I had like the weights at home that I would work with. I tried to do spin classes. I tried to do boot camp classes. I've tried everything probably. But that I've been at CrossFit for 9 years now and I love it.
Yeah. What do you love most about it? Because I find I love the variety. Like the workouts are like snowflakes. It's just never two same workouts, essentially.
It sounds really bad, but I love that I don't have to think.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
when I was in the classroom teaching, like all I was doing all day was I planned my lessons. I was thinking for kids. I was bringing them through their lessons. My brain is tired by the end of the day. And like for a teacher to be able to then like go to a gym, get my run in quick beforehand, and then just like not have to think about what I'm doing and just be told like, hey, this is what we're doing today. And I could follow it. That did it for me. And that was fine.
To just have to show up and be told what to do. I love that as well. I do.
And I say that like I grew up an athlete. So I grew up with coaches telling me what to do for like practice every day and getting ready for games and everything. So like that, it's just like instilled in me for that. So I love it.
That is so cool. I'm so glad to hear it when I noticed that you're actually in CrossFit. That's so inspiring because again, I'm in my infancy stages of CrossFit, but like I know how well you do. And I definitely plan to continue trying to do better and pushing limits of my body. So it's nice to know that you're doing CrossFit. So what got you started? What got you started in OCR? Like let's go way back, like before this.
It is way back.
It's like this is one of the first questions I had.
11 years ago. Okay, so like I said, I was an athlete my whole life. I played softball in college too, Division II, and then my dad is a triathlete. He kind of forced me into running, and I say it that nicest way possible. It was just like he was overweight, was told he needs to lose some weight. He took it to the extreme. He fell in love with running and then fell in love with biking and then fell in love with swimming. I don't like swimming. So like, I was like, we can do the running and biking part. But then I got bored with road races, but I was still doing them. And then my friend in college, shout out to Chris, he's amazing, was just like, hey, I found this race. It looks really fun. Do you want to do it? It was a warrior dash. And I was like, sure, why not? It's muddy. There's obstacles. I'm like, we can just play around. Sure. I absolutely fell in love. So finished that, had the funnest time of my life. And it's funny. I still look back at the pictures. There's like no muscles on me. There's no tattoos. It's like so funny. I'm in like basketball shorts and like a wife beater tank top that's like stretched out to look like a dress by the end of it because of all the mud. Like no idea what I was doing, but like I had so much fun and immediately like looked up other races. And I think the next year I ended up doing like Warrior Dash, Rugged Maniac, Spartan race. I did like City Field as my first Spartan race, I believe. And I was absolutely hooked from there.
Oh my gosh, that's how it all starts. I want to see those pictures. I hope they're on your Instagram. I'm gonna go like scroll.
I have them somewhere. I'll send them to you after too. I when they come up in like my Facebook memories, I try to repost them because it's like I'm all about that. And a lot of athlete like OCR people don't realize that like I started 11 years ago in the open heats with like the big headband and like a cotton shirt because I don't know what I'm doing and just having the time of my life. And then finally I was like, you know what? I want a little more challenge. And that's exactly what people can do now. Like I'm not a runner. I always tell people that I didn't grow up running. I never did track. I never did anything like that. I was just like, my dad yelled at me to go run with him every day. And that was it. Like I have no formal training with running. I don't even know if I run good.
Oh God, I'm sure. Well, obviously you do, but I love that you have turned up the heat, and that's what I love about it. And if you don't mind, definitely send me those pictures because I do a slideshow at the end of my podcast for everybody to see. That kind of is reflective of everything that we talked about, and
I'll find that.
Oh, I'm sure, but I just love because like it's not like you're lucky. It's not like you were just gifted with like
I'm not a runner.
Strength and muscles and a great physique. Like you work your butt off for it, like literally. So
and that's what I tell people. Like I'm not even a natural runner either. Like I'm struggling every day when I don't like running. I always told people I do obstacles races because I love the obstacles and the running just gets me to the next obstacle. So like, I just want to get there as fast as possible so I can go play on something and then go to the next one.
What's the most, okay, for not being a runner, for all you viewers out there that don't like running and sometimes you're using it as an excuse to not run or not work out or whatever the case may be. How do you train? I know you're incentivized by, because you know how you have a race coming up and during the race you're incentivized because you have to get to the next obstacle, but like what do you do to make running better? Like do you have any solution for that? Or you just suck it up and embrace the suck?
I'm the best and worst at these questions because it's nothing that anyone else does. So like for the summer I have a freezer full of ice pops because that's my incentive.
Oh my gosh, my kids will love you.
Anything to make it, you got to be disciplined, obviously. Like once you start getting consistent with it, it does get easier. it does get, I don't even want to say more fun, but it does get more fun because it gets easier and you get used to it. And you realize that you can do more than you thought that you could do. Even just being consistent a couple days a week and sticking with that, which I'm saying that, but I have not done that all summer because work has been crazy. But like, then you realize that like, I'm annoyed at myself because I know how much easier and better it is once I'm consistent with it.
Consistency. That, wow, it's like, I think that might be a like key word for this show today.
it really is. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Like, do something. When I was getting ready for Ruck Fest, I wore my ruck to the gym and then I did a mile. You don't have to go crazy with it. You just got to do something. Like you said, that 1%, do something every day.
Right.
And that's going to like build so much in the long run. It's crazy.
Right. Wow. Okay. So freeze do you have a kick-ass playlist? Do you listen to music? Does that help?
I don't listen to music. Ooh. I'm like so old school. Okay. I don't like listening to anything. I don't like having headphones in. I grew up on Long Island, which is more city-like, and there's cars everywhere. I've been hit by a car before. It's not fun. I'm in the country now where I can just run for miles, but like, it's gorgeous. Like I'd rather, and races you can anyway. So for me, I'd rather just get used to listening to everything around me because I use that with racing too. I try to listen for where people are, listen for where things are. So nope, I'm boring.
I definitely can. I've gone back and forth. I totally understand that. It's kind of like, it might sound cheesy, but like you can kind of be at one with nature and earth. Plus I got bit by a dog once when I had the music cranked. Didn't see the dog till, I didn't hear it. So like after that, for the longest time, I didn't listen to music. Now I listen to it kind of low and sometimes not at all. So I feel you there. Yeah. Okay. So how many races do you do a year? Like, do you even know? Like, is it?
So I have a calendar every year that I keep track of everything. So I keep track of how many events I do and I keep track of like how I finish for everything. The most I've done in a year is 47, which is
okay. Wow, that's a lot. 47 to 62 weeks in a year.
It's a lot.
So 47.
That was when I was literally going like every weekend. I've slowed down quite a bit. Only because I know like work picks up. I haven't done Savage Race since before my surgery. So like that series I just like totally nixed. I just can't afford travel and stuff. Like, let's just be realistic. Like I can't afford it all. So I'm not doing as much. And I think I'm only at like, I'm probably half that. I'm probably only in the 20s this year, but I'm doing other stuff. Like I'm doing the rucking stuff. I'm trying that out. I was doing a little more CrossFit. I made quarterfinals. So like I prioritized that. I tried to get to Frontline and my flight got canceled. So I was like, that was an A race for me. And then I got messed up. So like,
oh gosh. Wow.
But yeah, so probably about 20, I want to say this year with like events and stuff too, like DECA and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the next big race because just to let you know really quick. So I did my first ultra and I saw you there as well over in, where was it? New Jersey. And I was like, hey, I'm doing my first ultra. And you were just like, so nice. You're like, you're going to do great. This is a great course. And I was like, yep, I'll take all the positive energy as possible. I did have an awesome race and I had only been running the most like 10 miles. There's another whole side story to that, but I had only run like 10 miles. I only decided probably a month before to do the ultra because I had already done a beast. I hadn't raced in 3 years. I've done DECA, but I hadn't done a Spartan in like 3 years. And I'm like, New Jersey. Yeah. Well, I was like, I'm going to go to New Jersey for a super. I'm like, why am I going to go all the way to New Jersey, drive 4 or 5 hours for just a super? I'm like, maybe I'll do the beast. I'm like, yeah, but I've already done the beast. Like, that's not scary enough. So I'm like, all right, I'll do the ultra. And then I was like, I mean, I have to climb. Yeah, I have to run, but I also have to climb. Yeah.
Great hike.
So, but now we have, I got the ultra bug. And so I'm like, yeah, of course I'm not going to do the Killington Beast. I've done the Killington Beast. Like we're going to do the ultra beast in Killington, which is, I think, the hardest mountain race in Spartan in the country.
It's rough.
So let's talk about it.
So
in Canada,
what is it? Owl's Head in Canada and Killington usually fight for each other. Like they fight.
Okay.
Killington's rough.
I don't know if I want to have this conversation actually, but maybe it'll help prepare me.
I'm going to be fully transparent. Killington is rough, but it's not impossible. If you keep moving, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, and if you keep your mental game, like, I don't even want to say good. It doesn't even have to be great. If you just keep it like on level, you're good. Cause I've been in every single state. I've done it way too many times that I'd like to admit. But it's
How many
funny
ultras?
that you said that. Yeah, I've done Killington 3.5 times or 2.5 times. I can't remember.
Ultra.
I think 3.5 times. Yeah, I did DNF'd in 2019.
Okay.
But same as like you said, like I had to do the Beast one year because that's when they had the mountain series, and I was like, oh,
You're like,
after the Beast, this is boring.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, because I think about, like you were just saying, like it doesn't have to always be good during the time frame of the actual race. There's always another wind.
How many hours? It can't be good the whole time.
Yeah.
If you're that positive the whole time, I want whatever you're taking, because that's
No, I just keep telling myself I have a lot of mantras. And actually you're gonna be one of them. You're gonna be one of my new ones, because I think of people like David Goggins. Like I'm like, when I'm having a rough time, I'm like, the stuff that man has done, this is nothing.
Have you read his book?
The newest one, no, but I've
not the newest one. The Can't Hurt Me.
Yes, I believe I have, or most of it. So, but he's insane in such a good way. And but like when I think about like everything you do and the limits that you push, I always say you can't until you can anyway. And so I'm going to think of like all that you do. And, I know my body, I'm pretty in tune. And like you're saying, you're very in tune with your body. So
it's literally just keep moving. If you keep moving, you are fine. And you can't get down on stuff. Like it's an ultra. It's an ultra with, if they have the same, I had like 21,000 feet elevation, like ascent elevation, climbing, just 21,000 feet of climbing. But I kept moving. You just keep moving. And that's it. If you just keep moving and keep your mindset in a place where you're going to keep moving, you're good. And that's the thing. Like people get hurt and people stop because they stop. You stop somewhere, you're in trouble. Like if you fall on an obstacle, you're going to fall off obstacles. You're not going to be able to do obstacles at second lap because you're going to be a T-Rex and you're going to just be stuck. You're not going to be able to move anyway. So you just grind through your burpees, and it's just going to be you might step out, step back in, but you're going to do just do them. You don't stop, you don't sit down, just do them. Like it's literally just do what you need to do. And
that might be the best advice that someone gave me, is like, especially during transition, was like, do whatever you can because your body goes into recovery. And then I saw people like changing their shoes. I'm like, oh, I thought about doing that prior to, like, as I got closer, and I'm like, no, that's going to be more like downtime. Like I peed, chowed down like a peanut butter sandwich, peanut jelly sandwich, and not even electrolytes, and I was gone.
Bring it with you. So, and I put this on Scott Knowles only because he literally just talked to me about everything on Tuesday. He was asking a lot about ultra, and it's funny because someone responded to it and they're like, if I had in my bin what you said you have in your bin, they're like, I wouldn't survive. And I'm like, this is why this is my bin. Like I know what I need. I can't fuel very well during ultra races and whatnot. I can't keep food down. Like I know that about myself. So like I need stuff that will make me happy, not necessarily stuff that will fuel me. Like I know I'll get through it, but I know I just need like happy food.
What's in your bin? I want to know.
It's not good stuff. So no one listened to this. It's like Cheez-Its, Cheetos, and Skittles. Like it's nothing good.
Okay.
Like, I have my alt red. I usually have Tailwind in there. I have liquid IVs in there. I keep Red Bull just for caffeine, like stuff I know that I can keep down, only because like if I'm Killington's a little better because it's more hiking, but like if I'm running, I can't keep water down.
Same. Yeah.
So like I'll down it and then I'm like running and puking on the side of the road the whole time.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't keep stuff down, and I know I can't keep stuff down. So like most of my food is for after. Once I'm done, then I'll eat a lot. I'll refuel my system. But like I try to get enough. I have peanut butter crackers, like something that I know I can like take on the road with me too, because that's another thing. Like people will stop and eat. I have 2 hydration packs that are both filled. So I can take a hydration pack off, put the next one back on, start eating as I'm walking out. And that's what I'll do. I'll eat for the first mile. And with Killington, you got like a little run and then you're climbing. So you're not running anyway, and you can eat that whole time.
Absolutely.
I have a waffle, I have peanut butter crackers, I have Skittles. I can eat that whole time. where a lot of people will eat in transition, and I'm like, no, take it with you. Like, go.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the second round I just ate I think I ate the whole time. Peanut butter. What did I have? Peanut M&Ms. And then I hate to say it, but like a lot of the supplementation, like goos and gels.
I can't do goos anymore.
Yeah.
I stopped that like 5 years ago.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Salt pills. Take your salt pills. Take Alt-Red. Take anything that's, and even like EndurElite. If you do EndurElite, they have pills now too. Cause like you might not be able to down a whole cup of it, but you can down a capsule, down that, get it through. Your body will digest it like slower than like if you chug a whole thing. And then have fun. I take like,
you gotta have fun
with me. I use my funnest story in Killington, if you don't mind me.
No, please do. Yeah, I love it.
Forever. I think it was the year I was doing the Beast. I think it was. I used to keep chocolate covered espresso beans because I'm like, it's chocolate, it's caffeine, it's awesome. So I'm in the woods somewhere and I take them out. I'm like, yes. And I'm so happy. And I always tell people, take something that will make you happy. I take gummy bears with me at times.
Yeah.
Like whatever candy I find that I like really crave at that time, I'll take with me. And people are like running with me. And I'm like, does anyone want to eat chocolate? I have chocolate espresso beans. And one guy just turns around and goes, are you serious right now? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you want some chocolate? And he's like, no. And I'm like, fine. So happy.
I thought you were going to tell me that made him really happy too, but
no, he was like, this crazy ass bitch, what is she doing? And I'm just like, who wants chocolate?
Oh, it's so funny because when I was starting the race, there was a girl that was bringing, I don't even think she was bringing a hydration pack. She was bringing nothing. I'm like, okay, this is a learning event. Does Fo do ultras?
She does. She's actually way better at ultras. She is insane. I
really
keep trying to push her into elite because she can hike like it's her job. She can grind. Like,
is she doing Killington?
Yes. So this is why I'm doing it again. She's my reason why I'm doing it again. After last year, I got third place in the ultra, which means throughout the years, I podiumed the sprint, I podiumed the beast, and I podiumed the ultra. So I was like, nice. Cool, I am done. Here comes Fo. It's her first ultra there. She's done the beast there. And I'm like, she's going to do so good. So good for herself. So I'm just happy for that. She's doing elite. So
I'm my gosh, you're doing elite, and those ones that you got, like the one that you got third place, that was elite.
Yeah, last year.
That's amazing. That's why you're on the show, because I think you're awesome.
So yeah, she's doing it for her first time, and I'm like, cool. Like, I'll race it, and then if I like don't feel like racing, if my mentality goes down, like I'm gonna just catch with her and like have a great time with her. And if she's going great, then I'm gonna pull back. I have a bunch of friends that are doing age group and trying to get through it. So I'm like, I'm just want to be on course, and I can find whoever and I just like talking to people. I'm that person on an ultra loop that I'm like, hey, how's it going? And everyone's like, this crazy chick is on her second lap and she's really happy. And I'm like, I just want to talk to people. Just talk to me and distract me.
Wow. That's really interesting. I find like what I love most about the longer races, beast or ultra, is I don't mean this in a complaining way, but I find it's easier than life. Like in life, and like yourself, you're wearing so many hats over the course of the day or the week that I feel like when I go to the mountains, I don't have to have my technology, and all I have to do is climb and do obstacles. That's all I have to do. It feels so amazing.
The best time last year because I came into transition in second. I left transition in third, and I think it was Jen. She was doing amazing. So I was like, girl, you got it. Like, I'm not racing you. Like, I'll keep third. And I got to just enjoy. And I always tell everyone, like, the second lap in an ultra is the best lap ever, because you get to talk to all the open racers that are like trying to get through their first beast. And like, you have the couple that try to run with you, and they're like, I just wanted to like run with a leader, because you have the lap leader bib. And you have people that you're like, hey, there's a climb coming up, and they hate you for it. But like, then they get to it and they're like, oh, I got to like prepare for it. So thanks. Like, thanks for telling me what's coming up. And I literally just talk to everyone, which is weird because I'm not exactly an extrovert, but like, I just want to distract myself and talk to whoever humanly possible and just get to know people that are like trying to be like me and come up and do this. So it's fun.
Well, I think that's what it's all about, is like really encouraging other people. I got to a point a few years ago where doing races and training just like wasn't enough for me for my own satisfaction. Like what really satisfies me is if I can get someone, like I got someone to do that's also going to do the ultra this year. Like that makes it so much more worth it for me, because
like, look at me.
someone else is going to do it, like, and they're going to push their limits. I'm like, yay, it doesn't matter what happens to me. Like they're going to see something
And that's
wonderful.
so cool. And so I got to bring her up. So last year I was there. I did the ultra. I came in third. My feet were terrible. And I have like a heel thing going on. I didn't want to push it. I was supposed to do the sprint the next day. Decided to opt out of it, but I still went there because Fo was running the sprint. So I got to chase her around. It was great. I got to watch the elites go and it was great. And then I literally had this chick who's now my friend, Minu, came over to me and was like, "Oh my God, are you Kelly?" And I'm like, "Yes." And just came up and was like, "Hey, like I follow you, like you inspire me, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "I did this race." And now she's running age group, and she like got her first age group podium in Fenway, which I got to see her podium in Fenway, and she's like kicking butt. And like, this is what I love. And this is why I stay with this for so long. Like I'm 11 years in. There's Chris Rogowski's who are like kicking butt right now.
Yeah.
I'm not from like doing this forever. And I just love it still, because there's so many people that like I can still inspire and who inspire me, and who like she went from same thing, just doing open races to like now she runs an age group and she's podiuming, and she's like, "Kelly, like I saw you and blah blah blah, you did great." I'm like, "You just did a podium too, you're great."
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's cool. It's really cool to see, and it's really cool to know that like I can push people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can affect just one life, right? Like it's that turning up the heat thing. Like if you can just like have an effect on one person, like the exponential results, like you could have changed the whole trajectory of that person's whole life, because fitness is an outlet for everything else, you know? So that's so cool. Now, when did you like hit a point? Did you always do elite, or did you do open then age group and then go, "You know what, I need to start doing elite"?
So I love this story. So I started in 2011. I started Spartan in 2012, running open and like going to races in the afternoon and like stopping at McDonald's beforehand. That's my dad. I'll blame him, because when he took me to my first Tough Mudder and he's like, "You need salt. Do you have your salt with you?" And I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "I have like a change of clothes and that's it." So he's like, "All right, we stopped at McDonald's," and he got me a large French fry. Because he's like, "You need salt." He's like, "Eat the French fry." He's like, "You'll get the potatoes, you'll get the carbs, you'll get the salt, you'll be fine." So like, it became my thing where I started just like stopping at McDonald's and getting French fries.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, "You can't do this." So no one do that unless you really need salt. But
so that was a ritual for you leading up to a race, like on the way to a race. Wow. Because of course I want to talk about the nutrition as well.
It was an excuse for me to have McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, yeah, no, I know.
So I started elite because they didn't have age group. So all y'all newbies out there,
right?
Like, they didn't have age group. They only had open and elite until they started competitive, and then competitive became age group. So when I switched over 2014, I think I started running elite, getting like 30 out of 31, but like starstruck, because I was like, I'm running with Rose Wetzel, or April D was like huge back then. And like, oh my God, I had like a conversation with her in tuxedo in 2015, and she like had a sip of my beer, and I was so excited. But like, that's one of the quotes that stays in my head is like work till your work till your idols become your rivals. And that's literally like, I got to start in 2014. I got on Nor'easter in 2015. I owe them everything, because they were a team that helped me grow, because we all just loved it, and we all were racing elite, and we all just helped each other out the entire time. And
what was the name of the team, did you say?
Nor'easter. Okay.
We're
old. And yeah, my first elite podium was in 2015.
Wow.
At the end of 2015, I was like, all right, like this is something I could do. I'm actually kind of good at this. And the rest is history. Like I've been here since then. Oh my God, was that 8 years now almost?
Oh my gosh, girl. In 8 years, what are you going to be saying? So all right, well, I love that quote. Work till your idols become your rivals. I kind of, it's kind of like, you can't beat them, join them. What's that?
I'm big on quotes. Like I have a bunch like laminated because I'm a teacher also. So laminated and like hung up in my gym.
Okay, we're going to talk about that too, because I love quotes as well, quotes and mantras, and I like to hear other people's and I steal them. But who is a rival for you? Is there anyone? I don't know if you're willing to announce it, but like, is there anyone that you love to beat someday?
So, but here's what's really funny. Oh man. Cause it's awesome because we're all such good friends too.
Yeah.
And like a lot of us have gone back and forth a lot. Like me and Rachel Waters just went back and forth last weekend, but then we were teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So like we went back and forth all day on Saturday, and then we were teammates on Sunday, which is great. Alex Walker is amazing, but it's funny because like I've beat her a couple times a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now she's up and crazy. My huge thing was in stadiums because stadiums were my jam. And I almost beat Orla Walsh and I fell off the rig. And that would have been my only time beating her. And now she doesn't race anymore. So I'm like, oh, God. But I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people I'm close with where I know my level. Like I know Chris Rogowski. I'm never beating her. And it's great. She's incredible. And she's
on fire right now. She's training all the time.
She's what the sport needs. We went head to head in Ruck Games and I laughed. Because nope, it was the first obstacle. By the first obstacle, she was like gone. And I'm like, see you later, Chris.
Yeah. And I love your attitude about it. That's like the best part is like, you don't take yourself too serious.
No, never.
You know,
I know I know where I'm at.
Do you believe that like, you know, you could take 5 of you top elite athletes for these races, and it like, let's just say 5 consecutive weekends in a row, and it could be someone different that wins each time, even though it's like in a 5-week compact period, because you just might be on that day. Everything's on, from everything from your menstrual cycle to your nutrition, to your rest, recovery, your training.
Yeah. Like and that's the cool thing, because like the people that like local wise, like Callie Schweikert is an amazing athlete. Her stride is like 3 of my strides. Like she can literally just like run and she's gone. But like we go back and forth a lot. We've gone back and forth a lot. And even just in was it Luden? Oh my God. Yeah, Luden. We went back and forth both days with it. And it's cool having that. Yeah. Like a group of athletes that like, you know, it's going to be a really good race. Like Miranda comes in. Miranda's an amazing athlete. She's incredible. She has same thing, like an amazing spirit. Like no one's beating her unless it's like her and Chris. She can run like it's her job, but she'll be cheering you on the entire time. So like, it's never a bad day. Like when she's racing, it's like, okay, we got first place, but she's cheering you on. I mean, she'll run and she'll be yelling at me to keep up with her. And I'm like, not going to happen, but thanks. Yeah. But the women are an amazing group of athletes that like, it keeps me coming back. Right. Times. And I
love that.
Because I'm trying supporting women at some point, but I can't.
Yep. Oh, that's so cool. So do you deal with any mental demons besides like physically and you having to say, keep moving, you know, and comparing yourself to like a David Goggins, but like, do you deal with any other mental demons, as I call them, during a race? Like, in the sense of comparing yourself to others?
Well, not in that sense. Wow, really? No, like I don't really, going back to the same thing, like I know myself a lot. I know where I stand. I've raced with a lot of these athletes for a long time because I've been here a long time. Yeah. So I kind of know where I am with stuff. It's not necessarily that I'm fighting against other people, because I know who I can fight with. I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know most of their strengths and weaknesses too, because we raced a lot. Most of my stuff is just my own mentality and trying to get through that. And I have some stuff too where like everyone knows that I always have mints with me, and I always have mints with me because my throat dries out like crazy. And when my throat dries out like crazy, like I'm puking on the side of the road. And I told you I can't keep water down, I can't keep food down. So like that gets to me. When I start feeling that, I'm like, oh no, I've just messed up my race. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
So I get in a bad mental spot with that. And just if I don't think I'm competing up to par with what I know I can do, like I know my potential, I know where I can be. My nutrition hasn't been on, my training hasn't been on this whole year, because I'm still getting back off like 3 years of injury, and like it's a weird state for me right now. So I've had a lot of mental battles with that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's
But
fine.
you know you're gonna come back,
comes.
and it's seasons, right? We go through seasons. So
Exactly.
what do you mean by like it hasn't been up to par, your nutrition or your training? Like where is it, and where do you want it to be ideally? Because like to me it looks like you're training hard.
Thank you.
Training
Yeah,
hard,
I'm
racing
training
hard.
a lot. It's really nutrition. I was always a big person when I started racing and started training, and even with softball, when I played softball my whole life, where I was like, I'm not going to be one to be crazy about nutrition. I like food. Let's just be real. I like food. I like drinking. Like, I'm a social drinker. Like, I'll have a drink with dinner. I always say I'm like a 6-year-old man. Like, I'll like come back from work and I'll have like my beer with dinner or something. But I've never dialed into nutrition, and I got really, and I guess I'm still bitter, because after my foot injury really hit me hard, because I was going through a lot of personal stuff at the time. I got out of an engagement. I was living up here in Massachusetts, and I was literally homeless by myself and broke off my ass.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep. So trying to get back from that, and the season was starting up, and I was like, I just want to lose myself in racing. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And then I got injured. And I was like, cool. The one thing I needed to do to like feel better didn't work.
Oh man, you're smiling right now, but oh my gosh, I can feel that, like what that must feel like.
I went through that year in the boot, and that's why like I compromised with my doctor, talked to him, and then I told myself I was going to get to the best shape of my life, and I did. So after that season, 2019 to 2020, I literally only focused on training, nutrition. Girl, I was in the best shape of my life. Like, best shape of my life. Like, it's insane. And I won Greek Peak. You mentioned that to start off.
Yes.
I won Greek Peak, and then the world shut down.
Oh. Yeah.
So here comes all the mental shit back. Because I'm like, I literally worked my ass off for months to get to the best shape of my life. And I wanted that, like, that was going to be my year. That was going to be my last year. And I was going to retire and be done and be good, like end on a great note. And there were no races.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I picked a winner.
And then you did, I think you did a virtual race or two, right?
I did a bunch of virtual races.
Yeah.
Asa with Viking, I owe him a lot, because he kept my mentality good. He did a lot of like small, just in trails, like socially distant kind of races where I can still get on trails and do stuff, but like it just wasn't the same mentally, and it put me in a really, really bad spot for a long time. So I'm coming back. And then like during that, me and Fo started dating. So like they always say, like, you know, you're happy when you start like gaining weight. So we eat a lot of pizza, pasta.
Yeah. How long have you two been together? I feel like I've seen you guys together forever.
I know, it seems like that. We are 2 years next month.
Oh my gosh, that's it? Wow.
Right.
I don't know why it seems like longer than that, but
because
I guess
we literally bicker like an old married couple.
Oh my gosh. But I love how much you support each other. Like one of you, I've only seen one of you racing. Like it's always the one's like supporting the other one. That's what it seems like from what I've seen. But it's
really cool because and it's cool because like I'm elite, she's age group most of the time. So like, and they move 30s to the end, which is like kind of sucks because she has to run through so many people, but like she can see me start and kind of like jump up and like find me at places, which just like makes my day. And then I finish and try to run over to her to see her start, or like I'll catch her at the end of the race. So like it's a really good dynamic, and it's really helpful.
I love it. Oh, I can't wait to share battle stories from the Ultra Beast in Killington. That'll be my first too, but
no, So yeah, I might come back and find you and push you along.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you do. So tell me a little bit more. Sorry, we're gonna keep talking because I still have some more questions, but
I'm here all night. We can talk.
You have your tea over there.
Tea. With my gym. So yeah, I can product placement too.
What is your gym?
Which that's why I was asking where you were, if you want to come by at all. So it's Fitness Concepts in Gardner, Massachusetts, if everyone's around, but it's a gym that do all group classes and stuff too. And there's a CrossFit with it. And they have an obstacle course, a full obstacle course in the backyard.
I definitely want to come train with you sometime. Thanks for the invite.
Of course. I will definitely take you up on that. I have a futon. There's just cats. You just gotta do
it. Nice. I have a cat. That's no problem. I've got a dog, a cat, and a snake. So
3 cats, 2 guinea pigs.
Ooh, wow. Cool. We have fun. So, I want to know a little bit more about like what is ideal nutritionally for you? Like, and do you feel your performance and recovery better when you are spot on with your nutrition?
Yes.
Or are you one of those people that like, oh no, it doesn't matter what I eat. I feel great all the time.
So here's the funny thing. I was always one of those people that was like, I don't have to worry about nutrition. I work out so much every day. So then I did 75 hard, which shout out to 75 hard. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done.
88 days though, right? I read about that. You started over.
I had to do 88 days. I ended up having to start over, which I was doing it with 2 other people, and they started over also. And if anyone's doing it, if you don't think you have the mentality to keep up with it by yourself, have people to do it with. Because we had a group chat where we would be like, hey, how's your water? Hey, okay, your first workout's done. You got 1 more. Cool. Did you read your book? Like, we reminded each other every day of everything. And when
tell us what 75 hard is.
Oh, 75 hard. It's a workout challenge, but it's not a workout challenge. It is a mentality challenge. And it's really awesome. There's 5 rules, which doesn't seem too crazy until you look at them. You have to take a picture every day, which isn't that bad. Like, I set up a routine. As soon as I woke up, took my picture, and I was done with 1 thing. So then, like, you're happy, right? You get 1 thing done. You have to do 2 workouts a day. Here's the kicker. That was the hardest part, because one of them, they both have to be at least 45 minutes, and one of them has to be outside. Which I got angry about, because I live in Massachusetts, and the guy who made this, his name is, oh my gosh, I have to find his name. He's one of the first forum guys. He's awesome. But he's in like either Cali or Florida. He's in one of the hot places. And I'm like, I started this December 1st, and it's
yeah.
But it was great because it got me, I was prepared for Greek Peak. So 2 workouts, 45 minutes, 1 has to be outside, a gallon of water every day, which I have a gallon jug that I use every day. 1, 2, 3. Read 10 pages of a book, and it cannot be my favorite James Patterson murder mysteries. It has to be like a self-help book or something like that, which now, if anyone needs any books to read, I have like an awesome list. And like Relentless, best book ever. Yo, if you're getting competitive, Trisha.
Yeah.
Relentless.
I have it. Oh yeah.
That was
love it.
Book.
Really? Well, I have the book. Yep.
And follow a diet. Follow something.
Yeah.
That I thought was really cool, because it wasn't like you have to follow this. Like, I've done paleo challenges, like blah, blah, blah. I've done stuff like that. It was just follow something, which helped me to build a routine, which I have not followed in a long time, but it helped me build a routine of like, hey, this is my breakfast every day. This is my lunch. This is my dinner. These are my snacks. So I knew exactly what I had available to me every day. And just work through it and have people to help you out. It's great. There's an app. If like you need the reminders. When I tried to do it, I started again. I got through 50 days, which I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm all right with that. But there's an app you can follow with like a check off that reminders.
Sorry about that.
I'm waiting for the cats to like barge through the door, so don't worry. But yeah, I went full in to get ready for the 2020 season that occurred.
Oh my gosh.
And it was crazy. I like the transformation of my body, the transformation of my mindset. I was sleeping better. I built more habits where like I was reading my book while I was stretching at night, and I was stretching, which helped me go to sleep better. And then I would wake up better. And like, I need to get back to it. Like, I'm slowly trying to start incorporating those little things, like not going cold turkey into it, but I'm like trying to get back to where I am, but like also realizing that I'm not as serious in everything as I used to be. So trying to keep that balance, which is interesting.
Do you want to get back to that, call it extreme someday, or maybe for a period of time and then, you know, bring back the balance kind of thing? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. So that's the hard thing, because I went into Spartan this year knowing that I wasn't doing the elite series because I couldn't afford to get to Mexico and Canada and out west so much. So I was like, let me try to do age group. And then same thing, I couldn't afford to get there either. So this year was tough because I didn't have anything that I was going towards consistently enough. And that's, I guess, my thing as an athlete. Like, I need to know what's coming up, and I need to know that they're serious enough to take everything as serious. Like, not saying that other races aren't, but you got to be realistic about things too. Like going to Bethel, going to Luton, going to like the stadium races. Like, stadium races aren't as crazy as they used to be because there's no series anymore. And like, it's upsetting because I'm back from the day where there was a stadium series, there was a mountain series, there was 5 different series for a year. So many people could do something and take it really seriously. And there was the overall leaderboard. It was incentive. The top 30 overall athletes got a free season pass. So you were busting your ass no matter what race you did. And now it's not, which is upsetting. And I wish it was back to those days, because it like really made people push the entire year.
Right.
Where now it's like, oh, it's a race.
Right.
So I guess that's hard because my head remembers all of that. And it's hard for me to get the discipline to go into those races where I'm just like,
wow. So I'm going to let that question marinate even more, because it's a tough question to answer, apparently, right? Because you're comparing then versus now, and how to have that same level of motivation and incentive.
Yeah. And the other hard thing is, like, I'm still doing good.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Like, I hate it because I want to just like get my ass kicked really good. To like make myself like really get disciplined again, but I'm like, I'm still doing kind of good.
Oh my gosh. I can see how that would happen. Oh my gosh. What's the solution to that?
There is no, so I have to get disciplined, and it's hard with work also. So like, summer is my super busy time for work. I've literally traveled every week from the end of April until next week. So I can't be as crazy then, because I'm eating on the road. Like, I'm not bringing meals with me because I get expense for stuff. So if I bring stuff with me and then I can't get expense for it, like, and me, I'm like still trying to like, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. Like, it's not like, oh my God, she's a pro athlete, like she's good. No, I'm a tier C. I don't get any money for anything. So I'm paying for all my travel. I'm paying for everything.
Right.
I'm still working. Like you said in the beginning, like, I'm like everyone else, just trying to like do what I love to do. So
right.
that means I had McDonald's on the road yesterday because it was 2:00 and I was still stuck in traffic and I was starving.
And you didn't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
Probably.
And work
right?
pays for it. So I'm like, I'm gonna get McDonald's because that's the only thing at the rest stop right now.
All right. If money and travel were not an issue, what is an ideal day nutritionally look for you when you're like at your best, training your hardest?
So I'm just gonna go back to what I did for 75 hard. I was I do eggs every morning when I'm home. That's always okay. Even now, like that's my meal I eat.
Egg yolks too?
Everything. Come on.
Okay, good. No, that's good. I know people are gonna ask.
I joke with people because when I was like training hard and like I needed more calories and whatnot, I was literally eating like 8 eggs at a time, and people like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry. I'm eating 8 eggs and I made some bacon also. And they're like, your cholesterol. I'm like, my cholesterol is the best it's ever been. It's good cholesterol. You guys can eat it. It's fine.
It is. People need to do more research on the eggs. It's not the eggs. It's everything else they eat with it and how much they eat.
Processed crap. Not saying that eggs are not processed, because they are. I wish I had a house before my condo here, and if I stayed in my house, I was gonna get chickens. But I'm in a condo and my basement's a gym, so I can't really put chickens in there. But all right, I'll deal. But yeah, so eggs, maybe some bacon if I'm feeling good. And then I was doing like just chicken and mixed vegetables with like either dressing or barbecue sauce. Like, once again, something that like makes me happy enough, but is still ideal enough.
Yeah.
Right now we're doing faux cooks.
Yay. That helps when you're traveling so much.
It's so good. And she cooks such good stuff, which I'm just like grilled chicken and vegetables. But we'll do like ground meat, chicken, turkey. She'll throw like, she just throws random stuff in it and it's so good. It's like broccoli, onions, zucchini. Yeah. She'll just pack it full like chickpeas if you want to add more protein. But anything like that is super good. As a runner, it's weird because I stay away from carbs as much as possible. I had pizza earlier. Yeah. I had pasta yesterday, but I focus on protein. So like I will focus more on protein because I don't normally get enough protein. I try to do a protein shake during the day and a casein protein. Casein.
Yep.
Never say it right. A casein protein shake at night. Just because I'm not getting enough protein. So that's why I focus on that more than carbs. And I'm more of a lifter too, so I need more.
Yep. All right. So, and that makes you feel good. You can feel it in your performance that you don't need all the carbs. That's, I think, a lot of people misunderstand
I actually do worse with a lot of carbs. Like my body is just very used to a lot more protein. So I thrive on protein.
Cool. Good to know. All right. So how about your training? Like generally speaking, high level, what is up maybe for you? Like I would imagine maybe even every week isn't the same, but like, gosh, you're doing everything from long distance ultras, short sprints, so different energy levels that you need for those types of events, you know, endurance versus more a little bit anaerobic. So what are you doing for training?
So my running coach is Run Fluent, Chris Jangle. He's amazing. And he probably hates me right now because I have not been following much of anything. The same thing, I still work off my body and I've been doing a lot more ruck stuff to get ready for Ruck Fest. So I told him in advance, I'm like, look, like I just need to focus on this. But we try to do a running workout a week, a longer run, a drill day, and then like a recovery day and like a regular kind of like mix in. He'll change it up. His workouts are great. I love him as a coach. I've been with him for, oh my gosh, I think it's almost a year. No, it's a little over a year now. I didn't have a coach for a while and I found myself not doing much. I like lifting, so I'd rather lift than run. So he's,
and when you say lifting, do you mean CrossFit or lifting? Okay.
So CrossFit, and that's what I was going to go into too. Like I do CrossFit pretty much every day I'm around. Oh, dear. So whenever I'm home, I'll go to CrossFit if I can. I also follow a CrossFit programming, but not all of it. Mainly in the off season though, or just whenever I have time, which is more powerlifting, lifting. Like I won't do their Metcons. I'll just do like the Olympic lifting, the accessory work, and the lifting, just to try to get stronger because I'm doing more hybrid events. So I kind of need the leg strength, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to do a fast race. That's the hard thing with doing everything. Like my legs are heavy.
Yeah. Like what do you train? What needs more attention?
Yeah. For lack of better terms, like I also, so I get weighed, I weigh myself in every 2 weeks with an in-body scale just to like keep on track, not to obsess over numbers. I don't look at the weight. I look at like my segmental analysis. Cause like I said, like my arms are still uneven. So trying to get those even, my legs are heavy. So seeing like how my running is compared to how like heavy my legs are. Cause I'm trying to build leg weight and midsection weight also, because I need the strength for it for like the ruck stuff or the high rocks. Like you need that. You need the strength for it. So trying to find a good spot where like I can still run fast enough, but still be able to move a 375-pound sled. Right.
Wow. And how many miles are you running right now a week?
Not much.
Well, not much to one person is different to another. So like,
true,
it's not,
very,
you know, it's not
so
much.
I used to focus more on long distance running. And now that I've built I have my endurance base pretty built up. I will try, like if I'm going out, I'll try to get like 3 to 4 miles a day. and then get a long run in. So I hope for like 20 a week, but my hard thing right now, like anyone who's like checking my Strava right after this, with work, I know I'm traveling a lot where I'm in an airport for 14 hours. So I'm not gonna run an airport, but I just get in what I can when I can. And that's the other thing. Like I do a lot more walking with my Ruck. Like if I know I can't get a run in, I'll do something else to supplement it if I can.
Right. Okay.
So it's not
cool. So you figure everything's figure outable, right? And there's always ways to, like, I mean, think of Joe DeStena, he carries his kettlebell around with him everywhere. There's always a way to move. All you need is your body. All you need is your body.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like people like, and I'm like that too. So I'm very mathematical. So I used to be very like, I need to do this. Like I need to follow this every single day. And now with with my job and I travel and whatnot. So it's like, all right, if I don't get a day, I don't get a day. I'll do something. I'll still do something. And then I'm happy with that. So been a mind shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody needs to hear that too, though. It's like, just get something in. It's creating that consistency and habit, keeping the momentum, and don't underestimate what just going for, I call it like snacks. Cause like, I'll do my big grandiose workout almost every day or whatever, but I'm working at my computer a lot more these days. And I'm just like, I need those snacks during the day, meaning like a quick walk, or like, even if it's a mile with the dog or whatever, bust out a few burpees, or just keep something
in between. I have like my pull-up bar by my bed, so I can put it right up there and I can do it. Like I have a full gym downstairs, so I can go there if I need to. I'm waiting for my cat to jump on the computer, but just doing something, and that's helpful. Like we'll go walking. Like even I just came in from the gym before and I knew I didn't get a run in because it was pouring here before. And I was like, hey babe, like, can we go for a walk later? Just so we could do something. Right. And we'll do that.
With your tea. Oh my gosh. All right. So I could keep talking to you forever. I'm gonna
I feel like we could just talk forever and it's fine. Like
definitely could. And we'll have to have you back on the show again after you do some more events and update everybody. But I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh man.
And let me see. Okay, good. One of the questions on there has to do with one of the questions I didn't ask you yet that I wanted to. So that's good. All right. Guilty pleasure. Any guilty pleasures?
Like gummy bears and stuff, like candy.
Candy. Yeah.
Junk food. Like I will go and that's annoying. Like I got stuck at airport, so I got Doritos and peanut M&Ms. But yeah, candy. I grew up a sweet tooth. Like I was always into candy and whatnot. So yeah, sugar and Jack.
Okay. And I know, and Jack, let's not forget Jack. Okay. And then do you have a favorite race that you've ever done? Like out of all the races you've done, 11 years,
that's so many.
One that like sticks in your mind, your favorite.
I have a lot for different reasons. That's a hard thing. Like I'm a little upset I'm not getting to West Virginia because it's gorgeous. But I also got stung by bees last year and I'm okay with that.
Oh.
Shit. I don't know.
How about was Greek Peak one of them?
No, I hated Greek Peak.
Oh, you did? I mean, this is a silly question, but like, because I know prior to
I don't
this
like
podcast,
the cold. I live in Massachusetts. I don't like the cold.
Where is that?
Where's what?
Greek Peak.
New York.
Oh, it's in New York. I
you didn't
heard of it. No, I didn't. Forget it. I'm not even gonna say it because I'm
I think
so silly.
Upstate New York, if I remember.
Okay. Yeah. And that was in what month?
February, January.
Yeah.
Cold.
That's
cold.
the one thing I don't.
It was March. It was March 13th or 14th. Yeah, it was right before the world shut down. It was literally that weekend.
And you came in second place, was it? Or did you win it? First place, yeah.
That's why okay. So that was one of my favorite races because the first year I did that, I cried.
Cause it's so cold?
No, literally I cried holding the sandbag because I had a panic attack at the sandbag and I'm huddled in fetal position holding my sandbag on the snow.
Oh my god.
And this is what people are like, they don't realize that, but here you go. Yep.
Wow.
So I
have those moments.
Race, and that's why I kept coming back because I knew I hated it, but I knew it was something that I had to overcome. And that's why I trained my ass off and I won it. finally.
Wow.
And then it shut down.
Well, you know how they say, like, you have to get out of your comfort zone, but I'll tell you what, with the cold stuff, like, I'm like, no, thank you. I mean, maybe a cold shower or something, but
I hate
I don't want to race
I
in the
haven't been
cold.
back to Tahoe because of the cold.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. Dream racecation destination. We kind of talked about this. I think we might have the same one.
There's two.
Okay.
But I know we talked about Hawaii and Greece.
Okay. Yeah. That would be another one for me
just because it's Hawaii, and Hawaii has the ultra also, like, and then Greece. My girlfriend's Greek. She went there, and like, she went there with her with her dad, I believe, and like he got to show her around because they still have family there. So that was cool, and I just like want that experience with her now, where like she can show me around to like where her family grew up and like stuff like that, and just to race that. She said it was such a great race. She said it was gorgeous. It was so much fun. So I would love to get there.
I would love to get there next year. Like, if not next year, then definitely 2024. But
plan next year. We got to keep in touch and like maybe
definitely
Airbnb together and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to do that.
right. Yeah, definitely on the roadmap of races.
And then around, so we're good.
Yep. Okay, and I already asked you, who do you want to potentially beat? And then if you could train with anybody in the world that you have, someone that you haven't trained with yet, is there anybody that you would love to train with for like a day?
Okay. I need to train with Dylan Scott.
Why?
He's an animal. He's insane. I thought I was crazy. He's crazy. I love him. And he lives close to me. And of course, Atkins and Webster, just because they look like they have so much fun with their training, and I want to do that.
Wow. Do they know that you would like to train with them?
Probably not. I haven't.
How about Dylan being so close?
In a while, and they're doing more sky races and stuff. So
I'm going to tell Dylan.
But Dylan, I know I need to reach out to him because he's around here. Like, he lives not far. And I always forget until I see he's in Boston, Logan Airport, doing a workout in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
But no, Dylan's an amazing person. I've talked to him a bunch with High Rocks. Obviously, like, he trains his ass off, and I have a lot of respect for him and how much he trains. So I'd love to train with him and just try to complete one of his workouts, because I don't think I can.
Oh wow. Yep. Oh, I think you can't until you can. At least you'll get a taste of it, and then maybe you can go back for more at a later date, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, that would be so cool. Yeah. Well, make sure you get some video footage of that. And I would love to yeah, whatever. It's all good. And I would love to train with Kelly Sullivan. Do you think anyone can set that up?
Yeah, come to CrossFit 696.
Dolly.
Okay. I have a full gym. Just come here.
Yeah. No, we definitely will do that down the road. Okay. And do you have any favorite, I know you said you love quotes, so like you probably have a whole bunch, but like one that comes to mind, a favorite mantra or a favorite quote, like a real hardcore go-to.
Yeah. So the one that has always stuck with me forever is, I believe it's Babe Ruth. You can't beat anyone. You can't beat the person that doesn't give up.
You can't beat the person that doesn't give up.
Don't quote me on that quote. I know the wording might be off, but
that's awesome. And that does stick with you.
That's been my whole thing, and that's me with races. Like, and I mean, that was me with Ruckfest last weekend. I mean, I came into the last workout in third. Like, we finished part of the workout. I was still in last place for women, and I won. Like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight. And I will give, you're going to pull me off that fucking floor before I quit.
Oh my gosh, you have so much. If you look up grit in the dictionary, there is like you there. And I can relate. Like, I thought of that so many times, but I thought about that same concept. Like, it actually happened to me when I saw you in Loudon the other week. And I was on the course, and I was just like, oh, it's like, it's a super, I'm really training for the ultra. And I had the intention, it'd be great to podium. And then I'm just like, then I started to like fall back, and the girl that was ahead of me, she ended up being a different age group anyway, but like, I didn't know that. And
that's a hard thing with age groups.
I know. And then, so I was just like, yeah, me against me. I'm like, oh wait, you know what? Hell no. I've worked too hard. I'm like, I'm going to try. I got to try to get this girl. And then like, it was like, we were back and forth, like on the obstacles and the running, and she was way ahead at one point. And then I ended up beating her, this particular person. And I was like, yes, like that was just such a great, like, reminder lesson to myself that it's not over till it's over. You know what I mean? It's just not, you don't know what's going to happen.
that was the crazy thing, because like the workout, they told us about the workout beforehand, and I was like, all right, some of that stuff I know I'm good at. But it started with like a farmer's carry, which I'm not good at farmer's carries. When it's 1, 2 I'll be fine with, but like I'm not giving excuses, but like my elbows overextend. Like
yep.
So if I'm farmer's carrying something, like it's awkward for me because it keeps like hitting wrong and my arm feels weird, and my shoulder. So it still feels awkward on my left side, especially with a ruck on top of that. So I literally came out of that in 3rd place because it was only the top 3 females at that time. And I was like, all right, we're just going to get through the workout. I still got 3rd place, like, so
right.
Mentally prepped for that, but I'm like, I'm not fucking giving up. Like,
yeah.
And then it was some log stuff, which I'm like, I know I'm good at that. Let me keep going. And then it was these sandbags. Oh, so good. 80 pounds over shoulder 20 times. And I'm like, this is my jam. Like, I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I was yelling. I was screaming. I like looked at everyone. I'm like, sorry, I'm just very dramatic. It's okay. I promise I'm not dying. And then I finished the sandbags in 2nd. And Rachel Waters is a hell of a fucking athlete. Like, I have the utmost respect for her. She has come up through the years. I've raced with her back in like 2014 when she was just starting. And I knew she got grit. Like, she is an athlete. She's awesome. And she's my teammate the next, so it was even better. We're both like, thank God we're not going against each other.
I know. Wow.
But the last thing was long rope climb, and she was at the rope. I came up behind her. She tried it. She fell off, and I like felt like shit, but I'm like, dude, like, I'm going. And I'm not coming off. Like, I'm not falling. I'm passing out before I fall off of this rope, or I'm falling off from wherever I am.
Oh my gosh. It's just amazing what you can push yourself through. And what's that saying? It might even be in the David Goggins book, but like, when you think you're done, you really only have done 40% of what you're capable of.
Yes. And that's my thing. Like, that's CrossFit.
Yeah.
That's been my thing for years. Like, you think you're done, you want to stop, do 2 more.
Yeah.
Always. You can do 1 more lift. You could do 5 more sit-ups. You can do more. When you want to stop, keep going. See what you can do, and you will amaze yourself every single day.
Right. Yep. Good stuff. All right. One more question. So you don't know this, but so my platform is called Turn Up the Heat. This is the Turn Up the Heat show. And this all really originated, I would say, if I had to think back to what it was from watching this video called 212 Degrees motivational video. And they show that at 211 degrees, water is warm. At 212, it boils, steam moves a locomotive. So there's that little bit that makes exponential difference. And so that's really where the name came from. Plus, I love hot sauce. So people think like maybe that's the reason for the name of my my platform. So I always kind of like just kind of intertwine that into the show. But I love to ask my guests if what their take is on hot sauce. I mean, if nothing else, even mild, it has beautiful, wonderful, so many different variety of flavors. So you don't like hot sauce? You're not in the hot sauce club?
I am extremely Irish. It's really funny because I get made fun of all the time because I can't even take mild. Like, I cannot handle. I love it. Here's the funny thing. I love the taste, the flavor. I hate that I have to wait 10 minutes before I can take another bite because my mouth is on fire.
Really? Even with mild?
Anything. I'm a pansy.
Wow.
And it's so funny. So my brother's, he's going to hate me. He'll never watch this. You're fine. My brother's ex-wife she still is, obviously, is Indian, and would have to make me my separate meal. Like, when she cooked for the family, she would cook like her curry, like like the amazing flavors of Indian food, and then my food. Oh
my gosh. Yeah. Indian food. That's another one I love.
And it's so good. Like, I love it. And I hate myself for it. Like,
so what do you use for spices? Anything? Like, do you use Mrs. Dash? Do you use like, what is,
all spice, but it's like the Italian spices, like not the hot spices. Just, and I hate it because I love the flavor. I love the flavor, but I can't. I just sit there crying and like sweating.
Interesting. Even the mild.
I hate it because I love food. I love food. I love flavor, and I wish I could.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Because everybody that is guest on my show gets a hand-picked bottle of hot sauce from the Heatness from me. So like, I'm going to search and see if I can.
Mild you can get. And if not, Focus feel it because she loves hot sauce.
Exactly. You can always give it.
And I'll try it. I will try it. And then right in the corner.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, Kelly, thank you. You've been so generous with your time, and this has been such a pleasure for me.
We can talk for hours. I love it.
For sure. We will definitely talk a lot more. But I'm gonna finish with like everyone out there. You're gonna see this in YouTube. This is a show on YouTube. So in the comments in YouTube, or I always post it on Instagram. I would prefer even like Instagram. Put some muscles in the comments, or please share something that you learned from this show and how you're going to implement it. Or if you don't want to get into detail and share anything personal, just throw some muscles in there in the comments and just share the channel and please subscribe to Turn Up the Heat and share the show with everybody. But I want to remind everybody, just go out there and definitely don't just survive in life, go live a life that you're thriving. And you can certainly do that by, as Kelly said, you got to be consistent. That might be the secret little sauce, that little bit that helps you to turn up the heat. Be consistent, because that leads to, one hour leads to one day, and one day leads to a week to a month to a year. And then it's like your life. So thank you all for watching. I know there's a lot of other wonderful shows competing for your attention. See you next week.
Thank you so much.